Good morning and good morning. Today is Friday, the 19th day of Tishrei, and it is Chol Hamoed Sukkos. We continue in the Tanya, 23rd chapter of Igeret Hakodesh. Let's begin again with tzedakah. Kadoilo tzedakah shemekarevet es hageula. And we learned yesterday about the reward of a mitzvah and the difference between the reward of a mitzvah and the godly revelation that there is when there is 10 Jewish people studying together. And we explained that the reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah itself, the reward of studying Torah. Also, we spoke about that when you study the Torah, you get the reward of appreciating what Torah is, appreciating the connection with God. Because if you don't appreciate what it is, then the reward doesn't mean anything to you. It's like you're going to give a baby a check of $1 million. It doesn't mean anything to the baby. Give him a candy, he'll jump from joy. So we need to appreciate the meaning of connection with Hashem. And this happens as when you study Torah, when you do mitzvah, that brings you the connection, that when you sit down and you pray and you feel a little bit of an inspiration, a little bit of a spiritual inspiration, that's already the reward. But yet, the reward in this world, being that we are physical, limited human beings, so the reward is also limited. We cannot gain the godly revelation to the fullest, to the extent that is beyond our capability of receiving, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to sustain. Just like remember the story with the Matan Torah, in the time when we received the Torah, God spoke to us, to all of the Jewish people, the first 2 commandments, and our souls departed the bodies because it was too intense. So when there is 10 people studying together, he says this is the revelation that happens there is something that is beyond the capability of human beings to receive. This is a kind of a revelation that happens, that takes place. And the Alter Rebbe continues now to say today, in today's lesson, that this is a godly revelation that is present among 10 Jews sit together, even when they don't study Torah. Even just sitting together, 10 Jews together, there is such a powerful, intense godly revelation. It says that even the angels are afraid of it. They're fearful because they know, they sense the presence of God in this occasion when 10 Jews sit together. They sense that presence. We don't feel it, so we can sit and not realize what's happening, which is so much connected also with the holiday that we celebrate now, the holiday of Sukkot. You know, the holiday of Sukkot, it says in the Kabbalah, and the Hasidus explains that in the Sukkah there is such an intense godly revelation. And for that reason, the great sages, the holy sages, the Rebbeim, who understood the great godly revelation that is in the Sukkah, they were not able to sleep in a Sukkah. According to the law, you're supposed to sleep in the Sukkah. But if a person is pained sleeping in the Sukkah, for example, if it's raining in the Sukkah, you don't have to sleep. You don't have to sleep in the Sukkah. You can go home, sleep at home, or if it's too cold. But the Mittel Rebbe explained in the Sukkah that there is such a godly revelation. It's called Makifim de Bina, the encompassing light of the level of Bina, which is a very intense godly light in the Sukkah. So he couldn't sleep in the sukkah. It's like you'll tell someone go in an Kodesh, in the holy ark, and go sleep in the holy ark. You can't. It's so holy. So this is a godly revelation that is in the sukkah. So imagine we have godly revelation in the sukkah, and especially when you have 10 Jews sitting in the sukkah together, which is on top of it is the godly revelation of the 10 Jews. And if they study Torah or they do mitzvahs in the sukkah, how much holiness we gain today. So yes, this is very apropos to this Yom Tov, the Yom Tov of Sukkot, that we have this Tanya learning today. So let's see inside what the Alter Rebbe says in today's Tanya share. Says the Alter Rebbe, so he said the difference between receiving the reward of studying Torah by yourself or the godly revelation, the indwelling of godly Shechina, when there's all of 10 people together. The indwelling, however, meaning that degree of indwelling of which it is written that the Shechina dwells among them. This is an intense radiance from the light of Hashem that radiates in it, within the soul itself, and not within its inherently limited faculties, the way it is when one person studies Torah, without limit or end. It cannot become vested within a finite soul, but encompasses it from above, like a transcendent makif light, a transcendent light, from its head to its foot, completely shining the light, so that all levels and faculties of the soul, from the highest to the lowest, are surrounded by its infinite divine light. As our sages of blessed memory taught, that the Shechina hovers over every gathering of 10 Jews, meaning hovering over them from above. It's not internalizing, it's hovering, because the light is too intense to become internalized within the people. As it is written, may the pleasantness of the Lord our God be upon us, establish upon us the work of our land, of our hands. Which means to say, we ask that the pleasantness of God, which has appeared through the work of our hands, what does it mean? Through our studying Torah and doing mitzvahs, because the Torah and the Holy One, blessed be He, they are entirely one, is koinen ve'isher leinu melamayla, this become established and rest upon us from above in an encompassing manner. Because Hashem is without limits and end, and it does not become vested within our finite soul and intellect. And therefore, Aneimus ve'arevus minoyam Hashem ve'ziva Shechina bli gvul v'tachlis. This is why we do not apprehend with our intellect the delightfulness and sweetness of the pleasantness of God and the ultimate splendor of the Shechina. Hashem miskoinen ve'shoyre aleinu b'masi yadeinu v'teira b'mitzvahs barabim davke. And this is the special energy, the lightness of Hashem that is established and rests upon us through the work of our hands in our joint study of Torah and joint fulfillment of the commandments. When we do it together, this is the extra intense power of Hashem that it dwells upon us. And of this, our sages of blessed memory have said, in this world, there is no reward for the performance of the commandments. What does it mean there is no reward? As we mentioned yesterday, what is the reward? The reward is not that we have money, we have health. This is just the working conditions that Hashem gives us to be able to fulfill the mitzvahs. But the true reward is the godly revelation. And the true godly revelation, although some of it we do receive in this world, as we mentioned, but the true reward you don't have in this world, because this world is too material, it's too limited, it's too small, it's too condensed. You cannot contain this great light. For it is impossible for the world to attain the reward of the infinite light, except when the soul is divested from the body. When you become, when you're not limited with your body anymore. And even then, says the Alter Rebbe, even after the soul departs the body, it is still too much of an intense light for the soul to contain it. And Hashem gives us a kindness. With Hashem's kindness, Hashem pays us the reward, meaning that Hashem enables us to receive this great, intense light of being connected with Hashem. That itself is a kindness of Hashem, that He makes us capable of enabling us, the neshama that is, to receive that light. That's what Alter Rebbe says here. And even then the soul is able to receive this light only by way of grace, as it is written, kindness of God is yours, for you render to every man according to his work. What does it mean? Is Hashem is granting every man an infinite degree of illumination according to his work in Torah mitzvahs. Is an act of kindness of God's part, on God's part. What does it mean? Just like we said, that Hashem gives us the ability to receive that reward. Thus our sages of blessed memory taught that the Holy One, blessed be He, gives the righteous the capacity to receive the reward in the world to come. So even then, this gift is needed, even in the world to come. The gift of giving the capacity is needed. Why? For even after the soul divests itself of its body, it is finite, while the reward that is received is infinite. So the soul, compared to godliness itself, is in a way considered finite. Now, this is not so, however, with angels. In the case of angels, which are incapable of receiving an infinite degree of revelation, the neshama, Hashem, the souls of the tzaddikim, the souls of humans, Hashem gives us the reward to be able to contain this great light. But the angels are not able to contain such a powerful light. The Alter Rebbe says, as I heard from my rabbis, meaning the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid of Mezrich, so he heard from them, says the Alter Rebbe, that if an angel would stand among 10 Jewish people, even if they don't study Torah, the angel would be filled with fear and fear and dread from Hashem, because if the angel senses the Shekhinah, the divine presence that dwells upon 10 Jewish men, 10 Jewish people. As I heard from my masters, the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid of Mezrich, כאילו נמצא מלאך אחד עומד במעמד עשרה בישראל ביחד, אף שאינו מדברים בדברי תורה. That if one angel were to stand in the presence of a gathering of 10 Jews, even if there were no words of Torah between them, still, since the Shechina rests upon every gathering of 10 Jews, Tipoil olav a masav a fachad bli gvul v'tachlis. Mishchinto de sharya alayim. Ad shoyem esbatem m'tziusa legamre. Such a boundless and infinite terror and dread would then befall the angel, on account of the Shechina that abides over them, that he would become utterly nullified. The angel would become utterly nullified in the presence of 10 Jewish people. So this is the end of today's shir. The Alter Rebbe will then, in tomorrow's shir, go on to explain how it is important to take this seriously. And when we realize we get together, the study the importance of realizing the Shechina that dwells upon us, and we should take it to jointly study Torah together, pray properly together, and we should all have this Shechina upon us, as we know, the Hakel, the gathering of the Jewish people together, men, women, and children, and this year, especially the year of Hakel, this brings the fear of Hashem, the closeness to Hashem. So let us hope that this will happen before the Sukkah is over. So have a good Yom Tov, and don't forget to make the bracha and the lulav and the esrog today, and on Sunday, the last day, Hoshana Rabbah, that we do the bracha. All the best, and have a good Shabbos and a good Mayat.